There is nothing better than the smell of that car. What's up, guys? I hope you're having an amazing day. It's actually Boxing Day for me at the moment, which means it's probably most likely New Year's Eve or New Year's Day by the time this comes out. So I hope you guys have all had an awesome festive season and a happy new year. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for supporting me over this whole year. You know, we've been doing YouTube for full time for 1 year. That is nuts. And now to have the Skyline and the RX7 is just a dream come true. Two JDM legends, and I'm so stoked. Anyway, guys, today is the actual first day that I am able to get a good look around this RX7 and look at some stuff that I wanted to fix or have been wanting to fix, stuff that maybe I didn't pick up on when I was looking at the car for sale, and just all around the entire car. So anyway, let's jump out here, let's have a quick look. I'm gonna give you guys a whole lot of facts and stuff that I find about the car today that I didn't give you guys in the first little bit. So yeah, anyway, let's get straight into it. Hey guys, if you guys haven't watched the video where I introduced the RX7 plus a few of the other videos that I've filmed in between, like breaking it already and doing a few other little things, yeah, I'm just gonna give you a quick little overview about my FD RX7. So this right here is an original silver 2000 model FD RX7 Series 8 RS. I wasn't really majorly fussed on a few of the other brands like the Bathurst or the Spirit or anything crazy. To just enter the market was just such a big milestone for me to overcome. But looking around the car, there's a few other little things that has been done to it. For the most part, this thing is basically stock. All four wheels are the BBS or the Mazda Sprint R wheels. These things are fetching a very tall price at the moment, and if you were to get a set of these, you'd probably have to like refinance your house at the moment. No, not that much. They're kind of like around about that $5,000 to $6,000 mark at the moment, just for those rims alone. These ones here actually still belong to the original owner of this car. I'm the second Australian owner of this car. It was imported in 2017, but yeah, I'm the second owner. Now the car is also lowered all around, and it's on MCA purple coilovers, which I'm super stoked about because it was actually the coiler of choice that I was going to go with anyway. I don't believe they've been set up all that well, to be honest, but I'll talk about that in a little bit later. Right now, so coming into the engine bay, there's nothing really too crazy about the engine bay. And underneath the bonnet is where most of the stuff has already been changed. So this right here, I bought the car 66,000 Ks on the entire body. However, this engine right here, built by RMS Performance up in Brendale, is one of their Bridgeport builds. So this right here is around about, I think it's about the 2,000 to 4,000 Ks old. It's actually just finished its run-in tune, and it was tuned 2 days before I got it. Now when it went in to go get tuned, it also had a couple of other stuff done, like this massive big alloy radiator. It had some thermos added as well, and then also, if you guys can see, it's also got a front mounted intercooler. I will admit, driving it over the last couple of days, I'm not really stoked on the entire cooling setup, and I'll let you guys know a little bit about that in a second. So yes, fresh Bridgeport aluminium radiator, front mount cooler, and MCA purples. Apart from that, the rest of this thing is basically ready to start the modifications, I guess. Now, if you guys know me, you guys will know that I love to keep my stuff clean, neat, and tidy. My R33, well, drift car, mainly street car, is one of the cleaner R33s that I've seen around, and my Falcon was just my absolute baby. This is now going to be my next baby. So this thing at the moment, I'm going to quickly walk you guys around the car and show you some stuff that we're going to be fixing up. There is a lot of stuff on this car that I saw when I was actually going to look at it for the very first time, and I saw it and I just like went, okay, we need to fix this ASAP. So gonna have a quick little walk around the car and then show you guys some of the stuff we're going to be cleaning up in probably like tomorrow's video. We're going to be doing a full detail to this thing. We're going to be doing a full detail to this thing, going over the entire car, because I think that's one of the best ways that you can sort of get used to, you know, walking around the car and finding dents and everything else as well if you want to fix them. So anyway, let's have a quick walk around the car, see some stuff that we want to fix up. So first of all, looking at the back, it's not the cleanest RX-7 in the history of the world. Of course, we have that typical stain on the back bumper. It's a little tiny scratch right there, which looks as though we might be able to polish out. One of the things that was really annoying though was these Series 8 tail lights. They do have a fair amount of cracking in them, which I think is mainly from the sun. Apart from that, they had to have a few little swirls in them, but they should be able to polish up really nicely. One other thing that I noticed was there was a lot of polish all the way down every single seam of this car. Luckily, thankfully enough, the only plastics that have actually been touched by the polishers, I think this one over here, yeah, this one right here. So I should be able to bring that back up, hopefully with some dye. They're down the front bumper here. You guys can see there's a few little scratches down there with a lot of polish in these seams. Down here, this is all being chipped up. However, I have something very, very special that's coming for all these things, which I think you guys are really going to like. Coming down here, there's a big chip in the front bumper there. I'm honestly thinking that I might even give a go painting that myself, because the paint down there is absolutely terrible anyway. All these indicator bulbs and parkers and everything, all these lenses are all cracked and chipped up, especially this one right here. It's all just sun damage. I have no idea sort of what this was like in Japan, so yeah. Also, there's a little tiny chip right there which looks like it's been like scratched over for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. Once again, polish all around these right here, polish all around there. Everything else is in pretty much good condition. I haven't found any dents. There's some slight dents, but there's nothing too crazy. This right here was the biggest issue on the body for me, and I don't know if you guys can really see it, but there is some very slight rusting underneath this quarter right here. Oh yeah, you guys can kind of see it coming down here. So yeah, it looks as though that down here something has just had a little bit of a, whether the car's had a bit of a hit up the rear. Actually, there's some cracking through the clear coat there as well, so potentially this car may have had a little bit of a hit through the rear here, which has exposed this bit of metal here, and it might have just sort of started to spread through there. So this is definitely something that I want to get onto ASAP, but definitely not a deal breaker for me. I picked this car up for a decent amount. I don't even think I told you guys about that, so let's quickly talk about that. So something I didn't really want to talk about in the review video was the price of this car. Something that I don't really think is a massive thing that I should talk about, but one that you guys asked a lot about. So I paid $50,000 for this car, which with a fresh Bridgeport build for a nice clean RS, I actually think I entered the market pretty good. It's actually it was one of the cheaper ones that I was looking at around at the moment, and I could kind of justify it. I wasn't really a massive big fan of the silver, but once again, the silver is not something that I want to keep. The stock body is something that I want to keep and not put over fenders on this thing, but the silver, it's eventually gonna go. So I reckon it's gonna be a lot of fun doing that too. So the previous owner actually did a really good job keeping this thing nice as well. All the fender liners are there, everything's there, all the ducts for the front bumper are still there, so the brake ducts, the oil cooler ducts and everything else is still in there. The engine bay is still nice and tidy. There is a little bit of oil sort of just chilling around there, but as far as I'm aware, or as far as I've left the car up here, I'll quickly show you guys on the ground. This thing has no oil leaks. This is everything on the ground from my Skyline, and all of these are super old, which I do have to clean up eventually, but there's no brand new oil leaks or coolant leaks for that matter. So there's yeah, since I fixed it, there's no coolant leaks, so how good's that? But yeah, apart from that, everything else in this engine bay is beautiful and clean. This will clean up really nicely. There is some parts where it's missing a little bit of stuff, but we should be able to look over that pretty quickly. Yeah, the strut brace, everything else that's supposed to be there is there. It's also got a Turbo Smart FPR 800, so I'm stoked about that, with some little AN fittings down there. So yeah, I'm going to dive into this today and go through all the receipts and just double check exactly what work has been done to it too. Another thing I really want to check today too is this car made 407 horsepower on the stock twins, which I have honestly never heard of. So I'm going to check the twins today, see if they may have been high flowed or upgraded or something along those lines, because there is a couple of companies over in Japan, whether it may have been imported with them without anyone in Australia knowing, but I've never seen stock twins go 400 personally. So I'll have a quick look over that today, we'll figure that out. So yeah, we'll have a look. There you go. So if you guys want to see the dyno graph, that is it right there. As you can see, I think it was 407 horsepower. There you go. Oh, sorry. I've misled you guys, it's 406. And that's also making 577 foot-pound of torque. So Yeah, that's if you guys wanted to see that. And I'm just going to quickly cover up these prices here so that way you guys can see. Anyway, it's been upgraded to 11-inch fans. It's had new belts put on. Also has a new radiator, new plugs, Bendix brake pads, looks like front and rear, and then the dyno trim with Power FC. So that's the work that has just been done to it. Rightio, so this is the last time the engine had to be rebuilt, which if you guys can see just over here, it was done at 62,000 Ks. So anyway, it's had a new water seal kit, of course, new front cover gasket, oil pickup gasket, new water pump gasket, apex seals, corner seals. It's also got the street bridge. Also new coolant, oil filter, radiator cap, hose clamps, and run on the dyno. So yeah, it's nothing turbo work has been done whatsoever. So yes, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Before I pull it inside, I'm going to quickly show you guys the interior. Nothing crazy on the interior, just original seats that do need a little bit of work, as you can see. They have slowly worn through the Alcantara that's on these side bolsters here, but I will be fixing that up eventually. I've already upgraded to a Q-speed shifter, which is the nicest thing in the history of the world. There is no play in this thing whatsoever. The bushing that came out of it was absolutely horrible. Also has an Alpine head unit, Bluetooth, everything else as well. I'm going to put a sub in this car eventually. And then also we have a Power FC controller, which is just in a phone mount right there, which I think I'm going to see if I can route this cable underneath somewhere here and mount it up sort of in the cigarette lighter or something, because I hate having stuff sitting up there. It annoys the absolute crap out of me. This thing also has a vinyl roof, which is so sick, but it also means I can't do the Starlight roof in it. So maybe one day we might be upgrading to like a fabric or Alcantara roof or something, and I'll put some Starlights in it. There is no rips in the back seat, which I'm stoked about. There's some stuff down there. We'll quickly go through that today though. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. This also doesn't work. Interesting. Oh, and also the temp gauge down here does not work. I also have no idea what this little thing is. It looks like a speedo. Yeah, it probably is like a little like GPS speedo of some description. I'll figure out what it is, but I'm probably going to take it off because it looks horrid. But yeah, temperature gauge doesn't work, but the Power FC has the coolant temp on it, so that's all I use anyway. The factory Nardi wheel actually is in pretty decent condition. It's got a little bit of wear on this side, which I'm guessing mainly is sun damage. But yeah, this side here is actually pretty decent. So I reckon I could probably get this redone because the center of the bag, the center of the wheel is actually really good. Originally I was going to go with a different steering wheel, but I'm actually pretty stoked. This one here actually looks really nice and not like that horrible big boxy one that they used to come with. So I'm pretty stoked about this wheel. I love the white gauges. They look so good. I don't even know what we've got sitting down the back here, to be honest. Looks like we got a phone cable. If it wants to come out, that'd be nice. Oh. Yep, please be an iPhone. Yes, dude, sick. Some receipts. We have a spoon. We also have a little tiny, what is that? Looks like an 8mm. Hey, it's another 8mm, so that's sick. Oh, this car just gets cheaper and cheaper. There you go. I only paid $49,998. Sick. Oh, you're joking. Oh, damn it, I thought it was a 10mm. It's a 13. There you go. Also, this car does have a lot of tobacco in it, so I'm going to clean all that up too. Yeah. Alrighty guys, so I am going to take you guys for a little bit of a drive right now. It's going to be the first drive, which I am super stoked to show you guys exactly how this thing sounds, because it sounds amazing. However, one of the things I did want to chat to you guys about was, yeah, this is all brand new for me. Something I'm going to have to learn throughout the entire process. I saw a lot of people commenting on the last video going, oh, this is going to end badly, this is going to end in tears. But at the end of the day, bought this thing to learn. I am super stoked and super pumped to get straight into it. Extremely passionate about this car and something that I've wanted for so many years. There's already so many things I want to fix up and I want to do. I've ordered a whole bunch of parts, and not only just parts that are off the shelf, but it's parts that I want to make for this car. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Yeah, so I'm going to jump into the car right now, and there's going to be one thing that I really want to focus on, and that is, yeah, there's something wrong with it. And I'll show you guys exactly what it is. One thing I'm going to have to do though is definitely get something to quieten down that exhaust. Yes. What? However, if I in and shut this door and the windows are up, I can kind of just like ignore the problem for a bit. Alrighty guys, so I hope you can all hear me. I'm just gonna get audio recording from that one down there, and hopefully you guys can see me and everything else as well. While I'm waiting for the car to warm up, it's currently at 51 degrees and it's climbing very rapidly. For starters, this car, even just, I will admit, hot days have really been my enemy so far. It has been getting up fairly high in temps. I also think another reason to blame is it also has a front mount. Usually these have a smaller intercooler that sits behind the radiator, so that the radiator sort of gets the full force of all the air that comes through the front. It's got, it being the RS, it also has the twin oil coolers at the front, so I'm pretty stoked about that. However, I do think that there is some cooling issue on this car. I have bled the coolant up properly after what happened the other night, so it's interesting. I think before I do anything crazy to this car, like doing single turbo or anything along those lines, I definitely want to look into getting something that's going to keep this car a little bit cooler, because at the moment I'm kind of like, do I wait for winter to do track events, or do I go all out and get a Grady V mount? It's another thing I really wanted to do with this car was like an OEM plus sort of thing. I really wanted to just make sure that all the parts going in this car are legit parts, and yeah, so yeah, man, this thing sounds so good. So another thing about this car that I haven't told you guys about is one of the biggest things that I really want to try and find in this car is the steering feels very doughy. It doesn't feel as planted as what I thought. Oh my god, dude, I don't know if you guys can see this. Look at this blue-tongued lizard. Dude, he's freaking huge. He is beautiful. Anyway, let's continue. This cube speed shifter has been so amazing, but it's only sort of sorting part of the problem. So this car has a really bad alignment issue at the moment. I will go get the car aligned ASAP, but the wheel is very out of center, and I don't know whether that's what's making it feel weird for me in a way, because the car at the moment feels very doughy and very just, I don't know, very odd. Beautiful. It didn't actually feel that bad just then. Sort of trying to make sure you're always keeping an eye on making sure that wheel is sort of partially turned like 10 degrees to the right. So it'd be interesting to see whether just changing that is going to help it. So yeah, interesting. Drive this car slow, god damn it. But aside from that, this is one of the most comfortable cars I have ever driven. It is insane. The seats and everything, it hugs you. Like, I feel like these seats were made for me. This car was made for me. I'm only 5'5", and for all you Australian blokes, that is 168 centimeters roughly. Yeah, I'm pretty short. And this car, I feel like, has been just made for me. It is just so beautiful. I fit really nicely. You know, it's not like the Skyline where I have to bend my legs, where I have to straighten out my leg to like just reach the clutch. Like, it is so nice. Yeah, such a beautiful car. It also has that typical RX7 squeak in the back, which if you guys know exactly what that is, please let me know, because I have no clue. I really should look it up, because I could imagine a lot of people that know about that squeak and really want to fix it, so yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you guys just saw that, but it's really doughy. It's really doughy. It feels like something in the steering, like bushing wise, that's just like this is my dead zone in the steering wheel, that, and it's still going straight. I don't think that it's anything like, I don't think that it's anything along the lines of like the tires, because I haven't driven on 17s in a while, I will admit, but even the Skyline on 17s doesn't feel that doughy. So I thought it might have been that, but I honestly think there's something along the lines of suspension that is being the issue. That is the issue here, but we will see. I love coming down the waterfront here, just rapping away. For a loud car too, by the way, it actually is really nice inside. Like, I could imagine on the outside it's a bit loud, but on the inside it's actually really nice and I don't know, just simple. Like, it just sounds really nice, sounds so good. And another thing about it, another thing that I really want to sort of get used to is I'm a very chill driver. I don't like aggressively driving cars, but this car here is certainly a car that you have to drive aggressively to make it even remotely smooth. Like, 5,000 RPM is like granny shifting in this thing. It is nuts. I feel horrible for doing it, but it's the way that it has to be driven. And if I don't drive it that way, then I've been told it's gonna blow up. So this is gonna be one of those weekend cars that hopefully it's gonna be sweet. I'm really happy though, because after I did all of those cooling things, it's a pretty warm morning at the moment, but it's actually staying on that 85 degrees, which I'm pretty stoked about, which is usually a running temp for all the guys around Brisbane at the moment, so I'm pretty stoked for that. It wants to kill me, but I love it. And apparently you're supposed to hit limiter on these things. It sounds so good though. So good. Yeah, so after about 15 minutes of driving or so is when temps start climbing a little bit more. I'm not quite sure whether that's just because I'm coming back into Brisbane, whether it's getting warmer, especially just being in Australia. It's Boxing Day, it's the middle of summer, it's already starting to reach that, you know, high 20s. So yeah, I think definitely cooling mods are certainly a thing that I'm going to have to do ASAP. Originally I was going to go with single turbo kit and everything else as well, but what's the use of a single turbo kit if you can only drive it around for 20 minutes? So yeah, I'm going to, I think a Greddy V-mount kit is definitely going to be something that I really am going to look at. I think a Greddy V-mount kit is going to be something that I want to look at ASAP. So yeah, if you guys have any information about that, please let me know, because I'm pretty keen. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's like, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the wheel is just, when you give it some acceleration, it's all over the shop. Another thing that I also thought about is, could be engine mounts, because when you're in power, you have to sort of turn it 10 degrees to the left and then bring it back 10 degrees to the right so it stays straight. Otherwise it just throws you all over the shop. But yeah. Oh man. So there you go guys. Yeah, this is sort of what I was talking about the turbo for as well. That is the twin turbo setup, and it has this weird magic Japanese way of working that I'm really bad at explaining, but that is exactly what it looks like. So for me, just to go and try and make this thing run as cool as possible, I definitely think it's going to be worthwhile. Vented bonnet, getting that Greddy V-mount, and then going with a single turbo kit. I also think it's going to be a lot nicer to drive with the single turbo kit, instead of, you know, hitting weird different boost levels at random weird different times. But it also could just be getting a lot of seat time in this thing. So yeah, But yeah, definitely one thing I really need to work on is that there's that steering. It feels like it's all over the shop at the moment. Whether it's, I don't think it's coilover related. It could be engine mounts, it could be steering bushes, or just any bush in the front whatsoever. Something's just got to, there's something we've got to find. And yeah, because at the moment it feels very doughy and very unplanted. And these things are supposed to be insanely zippy, like it is a tiny car. So that's what I was hoping. So yeah, little things we're gonna have to fix, but at the end of the day, this thing is a beautiful, fresh Bridgeport RS, and I'm freaking excited for it, and I hope you guys are too. So some of the things I have coming, first of all, I really like the feed style side skirts, so I have them on order. However, they wanted crazy amounts of money for the carbon ones. So what I did was, I as much as I love carbon, I think that you can easily overdo it with carbon, and if there's only one thing of carbon on this car and the rest of it's just all stock, I don't really see the point of just doing that one little piece unless you were to go all out. And also trying to match up carbon weave on different parts from different brands is very, very hard to do, me personally. So anyway, what I did was I ordered a set of, I ordered the same set of side skirts, but they are they're like the plastic. So what I've also done is I've gone on and I've ordered some chopped carbon. So what that's gonna help me skin the side skirts in like a forged carbon look, which is going to look absolutely beautiful, and it's also going to look a lot cleaner when it's dirty, being side skirts that are probably going to be dirty a fair amount of the time. Not only that, but it's easier to match up forged carbon or like that chopped carbon sort of look around the entire car. So there's a few other things that I really wanted to do. So if you guys were wondering before how I'm going to be fixing up this side here, yeah, I'm actually thinking about putting forged carbon around the bottom of this and painting the top of it in the same silver as the car. I reckon that's going to be really cool. I like the look of when they paint that same color as the car. However, I also like the look of the chopped carbon. So I think it's going to be really cool having the top of it all silver, the bottom of it carbon. We're going to have the side skirts carbon. Also thinking I might do this as well, these inserts, those vent inserts. And then also, I was thinking about doing the wing lip in forged carbon as well, which I think is going to look really cool. And eventually, getting a diffuser at the back there too. However, before I do any of that, before I order any of that, we need to work out what we're going to be doing cooling-wise with this car to make sure that I can get out on track as much as possible in this thing, because it is so beautiful, sounds amazing. Man, I love this thing so much. Anyway guys, that is going to conclude today's video. I want to give you all a massive thank you for tuning in. On the next video, we're going to be starting to get into that interior. We're going to be ripping the seats out, going over everything, cleaning it all out, carpet shampooing the entire thing, and seeing what we can bring out of that carpet. So yeah, attack. We are going to clean up the whole car, see what needs to be fixed to make it nice and reliable, see what needs to be fixed to make it nice and planted, fix that steering, and then we're going to go with the reliability, make sure this thing doesn't overheat, make sure it's always nice and cool, make sure we can keep this rotor running nice and healthy for as long as possible. And then after that, we're going to start getting into making this thing look impressive, because I have some big plans for this car. I got some sick wheels coming. Everything's got to be done before April, so then we can get some sick wheels in this thing. I'm stoked. I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much everyone for watching. If you guys are enjoying the RX7 content, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting down below. And also go and share it with your friends. I really appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.